A frantic 911 call. 911 operator. 911, what's your emergency? Panicked voice. My friend is gone. I don't know what happened. She was just here. And now she's missing. A young woman, full of life, just 19 years old. A student, a daughter, a sister. Brianna Denison had everything ahead of her. But in a matter of hours, that life would be ripped away, and a community's sense of security would be shattered. In a peaceful college town far from the noise of the world, a predator was watching. But this time, it wouldn't be a random act. This was personal. It started like any other day, until January 20th, 2008, when a phone call would forever change the course of one family's future. Who would do this? Who could take the life of a bright young woman in the prime of her years? And how deep does the evil run when one man's actions destroy not only a life, but the lives of everyone he touches? It's not just the violence that shocks the community. It's the silence of a predator hiding in plain sight. A man everyone thought they knew. But what happens when the truth comes out? When everything we think we know about this case is turned upside down? The truth is closer than we think, and it will take more than just a trial to uncover it. But are we ready to hear it?
Welcome to True Crimes Unlimited, where the darkest secrets meet the brightest minds. I'm your host, and I'll be guiding you to the most shocking, the most disturbing, and most fascinating true crime stories from around the world. From the twisted minds of serial killers to the intricate webs of deceit, we'll dive into the depths of human nature and explore the crimes that will leave you speechless. And as we unravel the mysteries, you'll be drawn into a world of intrigue, suspense, and fascination. So, if you're ready to delve into the unknown, to confront the darkness, and uncover the truth, then join me on this journey into the world of true crime. Subscribe now, and let's uncover the secrets together.
It was a place where nothing seemed out of place. Reno, Nevada, a small city nestled in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains, a town that prized its safety and tranquility. To most, it was a refuge from the chaos of the outside world, where neighbors waved as they passed, and the sound of birds chirped in the morning. Brianna Denison was just beginning to carve out her place in the world. A 19-year-old college student with big dreams, passionate about travel and adventure, always eager to explore the unknown. She was the kind of person who brought light into any room. Friends describe her as full of life, kind-hearted, thoughtful, and ready for anything. Her love for new experiences was only matched by her ability to connect with others. Her family, her anchor in the world, cherished every moment with her. Brianna's mother, who had raised her as a single parent after the tragic loss of her father, poured her love into raising a strong, independent woman. But Brianna's story wasn't just about the places she visited or the adventures she took. It was about the way she made others feel, seen, heard, and loved. Then there was James Biela. To the casual observer, he was the guy who fit in seamlessly, charming, friendly, the life of the party, known for his sense of humor, his relaxed demeanor, and his ease with others. He seemed like just another local, one of those people you might see around, never suspecting what lay beneath. But James Biela was no stranger to darkness. Beneath the likable exterior, those who knew him well whispered of a different side, a side marked by a violent temper, brief outbursts, and a deep-seated rage. Friends remember moments where he'd snap, the laughter replaced by a cold silence. And while no one could have predicted the horrors that would unfold, there was something undeniably unsettling about him, something that went unnoticed until it was too late. But in a town like Reno, where nothing bad ever seemed to happen, there was a creeping sense that something was wrong. At first it was small, just whispers in the wind. Women were attacked around the area, their assaults brutal, terrifying. The town had never been one to expect such things, and yet it was happening. Slowly, the truth started to surface, but not in a way anyone could have prepared for. What were the signs that went unnoticed? Could these attacks have been linked? Were there pieces of a much larger puzzle being scattered in plain sight, but ignored by those who thought it could never happen here? Brianna's life was just beginning, and yet it was all about to come to an end in the blink of an eye. A life full of promise, taken in the quietest way possible, in a town that everyone thought was safe. But was it? On January 20th, 2008, Brianna would disappear in the dead of night, her life snatched away in seconds, vanishing without a trace. The darkness of the night would soon reveal a chilling truth. But no one could have imagined who the predator would turn out to be. Was it someone they all knew? Someone whose darkness had been hidden in plain sight? The search began immediately. Friends, family, law enforcement, all united in their desperate hope to find Brianna alive. Yet with each passing hour, the nightmare became a grim reality. This wasn't just a missing persons case. It was the first step into a terrifying unknown. But how could this have happened? Who would do such a thing? Who could take a young woman so full of life from her family? What kind of person was capable of committing such a crime in a place that seemed so safe? And yet, these weren't isolated incidents. There was a pattern, a growing list of women attacked in this very community. The question was not whether this had happened before, but whether it would happen again. How could someone who seemed so ordinary, so charming, be the same person responsible for these horrific acts? Was he hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to strike? And most haunting of all, what did he want? Was he truly the monster everyone would come to fear? In the early hours of January 20th, 2008, Brianna Denison's life was stolen in the blink of an eye. It was the quiet stillness of the night that hid the horror. A young woman, dreaming of a future filled with adventure, vanished without a trace, as though the earth had swallowed her whole. Her disappearance was sudden. It wasn't just the silence that was unnerving, it was the absence of any struggle. No sounds, no screams, no warning signs, just an empty bed, an unlocked door, and the fading trail of a predator's escape. It was as if she had disappeared into thin air. The night turned to day, and with it, the stark realization, Brianna was gone. No one had heard a thing. Not the neighbors, not the students. The community was shocked, shaken, and confused. As the hours passed, the search began. The police scoured Mackay Court, searching for anything that could lead to Brianna. But with every step, the feeling grew that something terrible had happened. She wasn't just lost, she was taken, and the person who had taken her was still out there. Who was this person? What kind of monster could slip into a quiet town, into a quiet home, and take a young woman so effortlessly? And why? 2 days later, the body of Brianna Denison was found. The horror of the discovery sent ripples through the community. Brianna wasn't just missing. She was dead. And the realization was haunting. There was no escape from this nightmare. The predator was still out there, and with him the fear that the next victim could be anyone. In a town where nothing like this had ever happened, the truth was setting in slowly, and it was darker than anyone had imagined. The investigation began with urgency. Officers interviewed friends, family, anyone who might have seen something, but every answer led to more questions. Why was there no sign of struggle? Why hadn't anyone heard a thing? The pieces of this puzzle didn't fit. Could this have been the work of someone local? A resident who knew the area? The thought was chilling, but it was the only lead that made sense. A community like this, peaceful and seemingly safe, how could something so monstrous unfold here? The media frenzy was unrelenting. Brianna's face, her story, became a national headline. Her family, devastated, pleaded for answers, each broadcast adding fuel to the fire of suspicion, creating more fear among the public. But with the public outcry came confusion. Rumors spread. The town was gripped by fear, each person a potential suspect. Could it be someone close? Or was the predator just passing through? The investigation took a shocking turn when James Biela, A man who had been living among them was brought into focus. He wasn't a suspect initially. In fact, he was part of the community. He blended in, just another face in the crowd. He seemed like a regular guy, the man next door, the guy who made you laugh at the bar, the friend who'd help you out when you needed it. But how could this person be the one they were searching for? How could he be the man responsible for this brutal act? The investigators didn't have concrete evidence. There were no clear links between him and the crime. No fingerprints, no eyewitness accounts, just a gut feeling. But that feeling was growing, and soon it would be impossible to ignore. Then, in a breakthrough that would change everything, DNA evidence from previous assaults near the University of Nevada, Reno, connected James Biela to the crime. It was the match that would unravel his life. A simple DNA test. And just like that, a man who had walked among them, the man they never suspected, was linked to a string of violent crimes. But why did he do it? What was his motive? And how could someone like him hide in plain sight for so long? James Biela's life unraveled the moment he was arrested. The man who was once a fixture in the community was now a suspect in a horrific crime. But the truth was far darker than anyone had imagined. Biela's wife, Carleen Harmon, shocked the world when she cooperated with authorities. The DNA from their child was used to further link him to the crimes. How much did she know? How long had she suspected? The predator was no longer hiding in plain sight. But as the investigation dug deeper, the question remained, why did he do it? And could this be the only dark secret he was hiding? The trial of James Biela began with a sense of inevitability. The evidence against him was overwhelming. DNA, eyewitness accounts, a confession from his own wife. But the courtroom, the place where truth should stand unshaken, became the site of another battle, the battle for his soul. The defense's strategy was clear: cast doubt. They fought tooth and nail to plant seeds of uncertainty in the minds of the jury. Could there have been mistakes? Was the evidence truly as conclusive as it seemed? But the prosecution had one powerful weapon that could not be ignored: Carleen Harmon's testimony. Her words were damning. Her silence for so long was now a cry for justice. She had seen the truth, and now she spoke. For Carleen Harmon, the truth was a heavy burden, a weight she could no longer carry. She had to live with the knowledge that the man she had loved and raised a child with was a killer, a monster. The jury had seen it all, heard it all, and still the question remained: could they truly make sense of the senseless? Could they bring justice to a family torn apart by unspeakable violence? The verdict was clear. James Biela was found guilty on all counts: kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder. The weight of justice, after so many months of uncertainty, came crashing down. But with it came a new reality. The monster was no longer hiding in the shadows. Brianna's mother, a woman who had fought for justice since the moment her daughter vanished, finally had what she sought: some measure of accountability. But was it enough? Could any verdict ever bring her daughter back? Her words were simple but powerful. This is not the end, but it is a step toward healing. Brianna deserves justice, and today, she got it. Reno would never be the same. The community, once peaceful and trusting, now carries the scar of Brianna's murder. How could they ever feel safe again? How could they look at each other without wondering if someone, anyone, was hiding their own darkness? Biela's demeanor in court was just as unsettling as his crimes: cold, detached, unmoved. Even in the face of his conviction, he remained a man without a soul. His interrogation had shown glimpses of his true nature: a man with no empathy, no remorse, a predator who had lived among his prey, hidden in plain sight. When questioned about his crimes, Biela's answers were blunt, cold. He showed no remorse, no apology, no understanding of the pain he had caused. His chilling indifference was a stark reminder that monsters don't always look the way we expect them to. Biela was sentenced to death. The justice that Brianna's family had longed for was now a harsh reality. But as the gavel struck down, it raised a question that would haunt everyone involved. Would this truly be justice? Could the death penalty ever bring real closure to the pain of a life lost? For Brianna's family, justice was bittersweet. They spoke of their daughter with love, with longing, and with the knowledge that no punishment, no matter how severe, could fill the void left by her murder. The town tried to heal, but some scars never fade. The trauma of such a loss lingers in the air, a reminder that evil can surface anywhere, even in the safest of places. And yet, despite the conviction, the story didn't end there. There were unanswered questions, unresolved mysteries. Was Biela the only one involved? Had he acted alone, or was there something more, a hidden web of violence, a darker side of him no one had ever seen? Could this case have been just the tip of the iceberg? Were there more victims, more horrors hidden in the past, waiting to be uncovered? Some questions have been answered, but some will never be. Brianna Denison's life was more than just the tragic end that defined her name. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, someone who touched the hearts of those around her with kindness, laughter, and a love for life. Her story, though marked by an unbearable loss, is also one of resilience, of love, and of a community forever changed. Her mother, still reeling from the loss, speaks of Brianna's spirit, the way she brightened every room she entered. She shares the pain of losing an only child, a bond that can never be replaced. Brianna's friends reflect on the laughter, the late-night conversations, and the adventures she had dreamed of. The detectives, too, reflect on the case, the weight of solving a murder that left such a deep wound in their own community. They, too, carry the memory of Brianna and the toll it took on all who sought justice for her. But Brianna's story is far from over. Her legacy lives on in the memories of those who knew her, in the fight for justice that continues. If you know something, say something. No matter how small, your voice could make all the difference. We can't bring Brianna back, but we can make sure her story is never forgotten. If you feel her story touched your heart, if you believe justice is something worth fighting for, please subscribe. Stay with us, be a part of this community. Together we can raise our voices, share stories, and continue to fight for those who can't fight for themselves.